The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors, and I'm your host. And my special guest today is Mark Beaudry, co-owner and president of Chaotic Wrestling. Mark, good to see you, bud.
Leo, thanks for having me.
Nah, no problem, Mark. Guys, I've known Mark for a long time. I would say 25 years.
Late 91, early 92 we first met.
Yeah, we used to work at Pizza Hut together. Mark was a driver. I was a waiter / cook once in a while.
You had to pay those college bills.
Absolutely. We're going to talk all things chaotic. We're going to talk the past, the present, looking into the future maybe.
Sounds good.
All right. But first, I really, like I always do with people I interview, is how old were you when you first found or saw professional wrestling?
I remember it. I was about 9 years. I was actually 9 years old.
Okay.
It was summer of '77, and every weekend, me and my brother used to go over my grandparents' house, and one day we were just watching wrestling with my grandfather, and I remember it was when Ken Patera broke Billy White Wolf's neck.
Oh, wow.
So, and then a couple months later, me and my brother convinced my dad to take us to the Boston Garden with my grandfather, and I think it was September '77, and the main event was superstar Billy Graham against Chief Jay Strongbow inside a steel cage.
Nice.
So
you
good
go
stuff.
way back with me pretty much. I mean, I started watching at 72. I was 7 years old.
Yep.
First wrestler I ever saw was Chief Jay Strongbow. He was taking on the Continental Nobleman, Joe Turco, on TV.
Yeah.
And I was hooked right from the start. I mean, that big Indian headdress. But Ken Patera, that's a guy that back in the day, I hated him when I was a little kid, with that swinging neck breaker.
Yep.
Billy White Wolf, he ended up going on to become, General Adnan Al-Casey.
Sheik Adnan Al-Casey, and then he in the AWA, and then he came back to the WWF, and he was General Adnan with Sergeant Slaughter back in '91.
Right, and was he with the Sheik too?
I think the Iron Sheik joined them later.
Right.
Later on with that.
Nice.
So we had a connection there.
Yeah.
We see Chief Jay Strongbow was tag team champs with Billy White Wolf.
Absolutely. Who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Let's see. Well, back in the early days with WWF, Magnificent Morocco was one of my favorites. But my all-time favorite is Ric Flair.
Nice.
Roddy Piper, Randy Savage. I've always liked the heels.
Right.
Four Horsemen, of course, because we had WWF back in '77, and then we got cable.
Right.
In 1981, and I remember that Saturday when the guy was installing cable, I had a wrestling magazine hanging around, and the cable guy said, "Oh, you like wrestling? 605 Atlanta, TBS." And that's the last thing my mom needed to hear, because there's another wrestling station for me and my brother to watch. So that's when I started watching Georgia Championship Wrestling with Gordon Soley and Tommy Rich and Buzz Sawyer. Nice. I had in their feud, The Masked Superstar, and that's when I first started seeing Ric Flair. And I've always been a big magazine guy.
Me too.
Every single month, I would find out the date magazines were going on sale, ride my 10-speed bike, and be upset when that magazine wasn't there.
Right, you'd have to go back
just go
the
store
next
to store.
day.
I actually still have all my magazines, and actually, I think we met a couple of years ago, and I bought, try to fill in some of my collection.
Yep.
So
I still buy. I go on eBay a lot.
All right, we're probably bidding against each other then.
Probably are then, because I just lost out on a few. But usually, I'll tell you one thing. I was bidding against somebody, and it ended up going up to, I only bid up to like $17. A lot of 6 of them, right? It ended up going up to $99. I was so glad. I was like, you get the thing on your phone saying
when it's going to stop.
Yeah. Oh, you just missed out. It sold for $99. I'm like, well, I'm glad I stopped bidding.
Yeah, I've kept everything. I still have all my magazines.
Awesome.
I collected from like probably around the same time, 77, 78.
Right.
And then around 92, when I started organizing everything, I'm like, all right, I was about 24. That's when I started losing a little interest.
Right.
Finishing up college and everything, and discovering, other things besides wrestling. But then I slowly got back into it. But some of my other favorites were Gino Hernandez, Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
I loved Austin Idol.
Oh, me too.
I mean, some of these guys just didn't make it to the big time.
It's
but
too bad,
Austin,
too.
And some of them probably by choice. I mean, Austin Idol was probably a guy who
did. Actually, beforehand,
Rick McCord.
Well, no, Mike McCord.
Mike
He was
McCord.
Iron Mike McCord, and I remember watching him at, I'd say it was
Lou.
74, 75, and he's kissing his biceps, and then he was gone.
Yeah, the plane
then,
crash.
Yeah, and then like 7, 8 years later, because of the cable and all that, all of a sudden this guy Austin Idol pops up, and I liked him.
Yeah.
And it took me about 10 years to figure out they were the same guy. Seriously, I'm like, no wonder why I like both
Yeah.
guys.
He was with Captain Lou Albano back
Yes,
then,
he
wasn't
was.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, he had the dark hair then.
Right.
And he was real stocky then. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
could tell he was like a power lifter.
Yep.
But yeah,
I went to a fan fest back in 2011.
Okay.
NWA Legends Fan Fest, and he was there. And the guy, he's like the Dick Clark of wrestling. He did not age. I'm like, wow, this guy could probably get in the ring today and
No kidding.
still in great shape and everything too. But yeah, I always like the heels. But
Yeah.
Gino Hernandez, that's
He was one of the greatest of all time.
yeah,
Was
I
he
loved
27
him.
when he died?
He was like
Something
20,
like that, right?
29 or so.
Okay, yeah. And,
So-
you know, they say,
Back in February '86.
right, they said they found pile of cocaine in his stomach.
Yeah.
To me, that he wasn't sniffing it.
Right.
Somebody forced it down his throat. And if you watch
You've heard
Shoot,
many
that's what I was
different
gonna
type of
say.
stories that
Yeah.
you know he was involved with the wrong people. and
Right.
Could
Matter
have
of
been
fact,
something
I also
gone
heard
bad.
he was involved in the gay clubs in Dallas, I heard.
Oh.
Yeah, that's whatever. I mean, that's his own thing. I'm just saying that
knows?
that's some of those things have come out, and it's made me go, wow, you know? Because I was a big Gino Hernandez
Yeah.
fan, too. Do you remember when USA was carrying Southwest champ?
Southwest, absolutely.
All
yeah.
those things, I'll never forget it. My
remember-
mother was the same way, probably your mother. She hated it.
Oh,
To
yeah.
this day, if I bring up wrestling at her house, she tells me to shut something up. There's no wrestling talk at my house. You don't live here no more.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that was on 11 a.m. on Sunday
Yeah.
mornings, and I remember Gino and Tully against the
Yep.
grapplers, and they won the tag belts, and then
Yes.
then Tully turned on him.
Yes.
It's still one of my favorite
Yeah.
angles.
Remember Bruiser Bob Sweetan?
Yeah.
But I heard so many stories on shoot interviews about that guy. What a grumpy guy
Yeah.
I heard he was. But he was a star back then. He
Yeah.
sold tickets. But it was really, like you said, though, Gino and Tully were the main guys.
You just wonder if Tully and Gino would have hooked back up again when Four Horsemen when they had an opening. Or
I
two.
think he would have been part of the Four Horsemen
Yeah.
if he didn't die. I really do, because I don't see who else. I mean, look at all the guys they brought in. They were great. He's way better than Luger.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I
He
mean?
didn't have the bill like him.
Right,
but
right. But I mean, you know, you can't really say over Barry. Barry Windham was great, phenomenal.
That's the best Four Horsemen.
I
right there.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
wrestling wise, and when you think about it, they weren't together that long.
No, not long at
Maybe
all.
like 5-6 months, because
Yeah.
then in the fall of '88 is when Tully and Arn left for WWF. And
Right.
After that, JJ was gone, and then I think that was '88.
And JJ was working in the WWF, right?
Yeah,
Back then, because
he left
took an
in,
agent job or whatever.
Yeah, he left in like February '89.
Right. There's a lot of stuff like we could talk about. Do you remember when Vince was going through a steroid trial? He had brought Jerry Jarrett
Jerry
up.
Jarrett.
Jerry Jarrett was going to run it. Vince went to prison.
Yeah,
That would have been different.
I've heard they brought him in possibly to do that.
Yeah.
But then I've also heard Bruce Pritchard actually talked about this on his
Okay.
podcast not too long ago.
Right.
And he claims that he would not have been running it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Did
but
they say
but
who would
it's- They,
Gorilla?
they just said it was pretty much like a committee, and they made it
committee,
sound like
yeah.
a lot of people would have been visiting Vince in prison.
Right, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well,
I'm sure
what-
he'll always have his hands on things.
Oh yeah. Well, luckily Vince didn't go to prison, and now Vince's wife is going to be what? Did you hear what's her title?
Small business advocate with
Look
in the
at that.
Trumps.
Good
Yeah.
for Linda McMahon. She's a smart woman
She's
anyway.
very smart,
Did she go
man.
to Yale? I read something. I know she
I'm
went
not
to
sure.
a good college, but I want.
I wouldn't be surprised given that they're in Connecticut.
Right. Yeah. I'm almost positive. I read it just the other day. I'm almost positive
Yeah.
she went to
She had
Yale.
a couple unsuccessful Senate runs, but
Yeah. She tried.
I
She
think she's
spent
going to
a
be
lot
great.
of Vince's money.
She knows her stuff though. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a pretty good choice.
Right. And Trump's not doing anything different than any other politician has done in the past. They hire the people they like and they're friendly with and they know.
And they're good people too.
Exactly.
He's putting it. Yeah.
So
putting the best.
I'm pretty excited about that. I really didn't want. That's just. It's not a politics show, but I have to bring it up. I really didn't want her to win. I
Yeah.
wanted Trump.
Yeah.
My grandson and my daughter were so mad at me that I wanted him, and a lot of people. I'm a union guy.
Yep.
And Hillary was so pro-union, but I just the way she's, I couldn't do it.
no, I'm with you.
I couldn't vote for her.
I'm with
couldn't.
you. So,
All right, so let's get back to this. Chaotic started running in 2000.
It started in 2000 by I believe it was about 4 or 5 owners at the time.
Okay.
One of them, Jamie J. McCuskey, who's still the majority owner.
Right.
And that was the summer of 2000, and they started and were partnered with a couple people, and I discovered it in 2001, just
Okay.
reading the internet. I would get on a couple websites that I would go on for wrestling news, and for a couple of months I kept seeing Chaotic Wrestling in Methuen, Knights of Columbus, Lawrence Elks, Lowell Elks. And I'm like, and at the time I was living in Drake and Mass, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, this is wrestling in these small venues close to me. That alone got me curious.
Right.
Just to see how they set it up. I'm
Yeah.
like, how are they going to jump off the ropes in these small places?
Right.
Because other than that, I mean, I've been to, tons of WWF shows.
Right.
My parents divorced, and my dad used to live down in the Maryland area. So
Okay.
I used to plan my trips around that, where I'll go to Maryland, go see the Great American Bashes, the
Right,
Starcades,
yeah.
things like that. So I got lucky there. World Class I had been to when they came to the Manning Bowl in Lynn.
I was in. I went
A
that
couple
time
times,
too,
yeah. They came twice.
Yep.
One of my memories, seeing Gino and Chris.
Right.
But then I remember they had Bruiser Brody against a one-man gang, and the ropes broke.
Yes.
I still remember that.
Yep.
And they had good crowds.
Oh yeah, I mean that place was unbelievable. I remember they did Dallas Stadium. And, I mean the place wasn't completely packed, because that holds like what 60,000 people.
Right. You're talking about the Parade of Champions shows they did?
Yeah, but there was about 35
For the first one.
for the first one. Yeah.
The magazines, I'm a big numbers guy.
Oh, I hear you.
They would say 43,517.
Well, there you go.
For when Kerry beat Flair in May,
Right.
May
Yeah.
'84.
That was amazing.
So
I'll
and then
never
the
forget
next
that.
year I think it went down to like
Yeah.
30 and then 25, and then the last couple of years it
Yeah.
was like 5,000 to 6,000
Well,
if
what
that.
happened?
The talent just dried up, and I think the whole Texas territory just started getting tired. They keep saying one Von Erich after another just going by, and
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they started believing less and less about them, especially when they brought in Lance and
Yeah.
as a cousin,
Yeah, yeah.
and they discovered he
Ricky
really wasn't a cousin because he
Right.
was a well-known athlete in Texas. So
Right.
I think they started losing a little faith there, and that's just my opinion. And then,
Yeah.
then I mean, with
Gary
anything,
Hart left too.
Gary had left
Because
a
he left
number
on
of
payday.
times.
He was really pissed, and Mantell took over.
He left when the big angle went off,
Right.
in December '82, the Freebirds of Von Erichs.
Yeah.
So, but so I had been to, going back to that, I mean, I always went to the WWF, Manning Bowl in Lynn, usually go to ICW, International Championship Wrestling, Savoldi's, and used to be at the Lowell Auditorium,
Right.
which I thought was so cool because I seen Florida guys and WWC Puerto Rico guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So I had never been to like an independent show like
Yep.
I've been to a couple in a gym, but never there. So that got me curious, and I went one day. And this is how I actually got involved with Chaotic Wrestling. One of my first shows there, I'm at the end. They had just wrapped up, and I still had an adult beverage, and I was finishing it up, and just waiting around, and they're breaking down the ring, and one of the owners at the time said, "Hey, if you're gonna help out, pick up a board." I'm like, just finishing up my drink, but I'll help.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just started helping out, and the guy, Milo was his name, came up to me after. He goes, "Hey, I'm sorry, are you part of the ring crew?" I'm like, "No, but do you need a hand? I have no problem helping out." So that's how I got by. I slowly helped out, and I just started going to every show and helping out.
Wow.
And that was in 2001.
Yep.
And then in beginning of 2007, late 2006, Jamie asked me if I was interested in coming on board as part owner, and I invested, and I've been part owner since 2007, so just about 10 years now.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
I've always been a fan of Chaotic. It's so
Thank
hard
you.
to go to a lot of shows. You know what I mean? Especially when
Yeah.
you got a family, and for years I worked 2 or 3 jobs too.
Yeah.
But I remember you brought up the Lowell Elks. I went to a show there, and Aaron Stevens was there. And
He was on the first show, and the two people I remember that stood out to me
Yeah.
on the first show I went to was Aaron Stevens
Yeah.
and Hurricane John Walters.
Yes,
So still one of my all-time favorites on the
Right.
independent scene.
absolutely.
So, but those are the two that stood out. And Chris Nowinski was there, and
Yeah.
he stood out because I had just seen him on Tough Enough.
Right. Well, I got to tell you, this is something that you don't know, and I don't think I brought it up to you before, but referee Rich Lannon,
Yeah.
he's related to me. In a
Oh,
way.
okay.
I should say that. He is my older kid's mom's first cousin.
Oh, pretty.
I remember, and and it's funny, I never hit him up for oh, tell me, see,
Right.
because I didn't want to know. There's some
It's-
people that would want to know.
I still don't like to know sometimes.
I don't.
For the surprise
Yeah,
element.
I go to. I'll tell you a real quick story. I went to. I catered for Ring of Honor from 2001 to 2002 to 2004, and I won't say the person's name because a lot of people know who he is. I'm just going to leave it at this guy. And Samoa Joe and Low Key were going over their match, and I brought this kid with me to cater, and he kind of kept getting closer and closer. Finally, Low Key looks at me, and goes, "Hey!" Starts yelling at him, So I threw everybody out of the kitchen, and I turned my back to him. I just kept cooking. Loki came over and said, "Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that." I said, "I don't understand why some people would want to know."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what?
So it's like figuring out the magic tricks.
Yeah. It
Well,
was just,
if you know it, why are you watching? You know,
Right.
it's I don't know.
and if this guy watches, I love you. You know who you are. But I never brought him again.
Yeah. It's the
Because
same
I
guy
could've.
that reads the last page of the 15-chapter novel, right?
Yeah, probably. And I like the guy a lot. You know what I mean? I really do.
Yeah.
He's a friend, but I just never took him to a catering job again.
Yeah.
But all right. So well, the first year, Chaotic was a part of that New England Loco Bazooka thing, which they
Yeah, I
were
think
saw by
that-
like over 15,000
I
people.
think that might have been one of their first shows.
Yeah,
I wasn't there at the
Right.
time, but yeah, I believe you're absolutely correct.
That's amazing, though. Like for a small company to be out there and be seen by that many
Mm-hmm.
people right away. So that I was always impressed with that. I didn't go,
Right.
but I heard all about it and stuff from some of the guys that I know that did go.
Yeah.
But
In the beginning years too, it was Kowalski School, the Chaotic Training Center, which
Yes.
eventually was sold to Brian Fury.
Yeah.
Who had renamed it the New England Pro Wrestling Academy.
Yes.
And in the Wrestling Academy, it's tribute to his mentor, Steve Bradley, because
Yes.
he had a school called the
right up in Manchester.
Right, in Top Rope Wrestling Academy. I think it was.
Yes.
So that's a little tribute to him, which is
Nice.
nice. So, but before the Chaotic Training Center, I mean, you had Killer Kowalski's, which eventually teamed up with Chaotic Wrestling. But it was more of a supplement. You had the training guys,
Yep.
and then there was a lot of guys. Remember back in 2000, 2001, you still had WCW and ECW.
Right.
So I mean, a lot of the shows still had like a Spike Dudley,
Yes.
a little Guido.
Yes.
Or you bring in a Brutus Beefcake.
Yep. John Cronus.
John
they brought
Cronus
in.
was in there.
Yep.
Yep.
Snooker even worked for him.
Snooker, Beefcake, Bret
Charlie
Hart.
Haas.
Charlie Haas, that was after,
Yep.
but Charlie Haas wrestled for us a number of times.
Mark, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Isaiah wants to know. I think I already said it, but just tell him again.
Sure.
Who your favorite wrestler is? He must not have got there on time.
My all-time favorite is Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Woo! You got that, buddy? All
Yeah.
right. We love you.
Still,
He must have commented it on. He loves to comment on YouTube videos. So
yeah.
good
Ric
job,
Flair.
buddy.
Yeah,
Good
Roddy,
job.
Roddy Piper and Randy Savage, close 2 and 3.
Nice. Isaiah, you know I have way too many favorite wrestlers to name. We'd be sitting here for an hour just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you were saying, then you had Bret Hart. You had
Bret Hart was
well, not you. I'm sorry, but back with them,
Actually,
some
Bret
of them.
Hart was the show in August of 2001 in Lynn, Mass. Actually,
Okay.
I
Were
mean,
you
I've-
already a part of that then?
No, that
You
was a
just
month
working?
before.
Okay.
So, and that's, I had seen the review of the show on that spring, and I'm like, I'm going to go hit one up, and it was in September 2001. So right after that. And
Okay.
I've probably, in all honesty, Leo, and so over 15 years now, I think I've missed 2 or 3 shows.
That's it, huh?
That's about it.
Now, were you sick? Your weddings? I mean, what made
I
you?
think one time I went to Montreal for a bachelor party,
Yeah.
and then I was in St. Martin another time or something
Wow.
like that. And then I think third time I just needed a break.
Right. I'll tell you though, Montreal must have been fun.
Always.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but they've worked with so many guys. A lot of people are gonna want to know. Seeing I have you here,
Yeah.
and we talked off here. You had John Cena,
John
and
Cena.
Vince McMahon showed up.
True.
Can you tell us about that?
True. Well, before John Cena actually wrestled for us, before he, right after he signed with WWE, and right before he went to OVW, Ohio Valley
Okay.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
So he wrestled for us a match in Riviera.
Okay.
And again, that's right around 2000, 2001, because I
Was
was
he
not involved.
prototype then?
He was called the Prototype.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So, so him being from West Newbury,
Yep.
and the Chaotic Training Center, which, like I said, now the New England Pro Wrestling Academy, being in North Andover, we were fortunate enough to have him visit one time when he first got, I think it was a knee injury,
Okay.
when he first got hurt. He came every Thursday night to the school and rehabbed.
Oh wow.
So these kids training
Right.
had the fortune of John Cena,
Yeah.
coming to the school every single week, and everybody says he's a great guy, and I can attest. I mean, everything you've heard about, he's a great guy.
It seems
for,
that
for,
way.
for first class. He would go out of his way and help everybody.
That's awesome.
Go over their matches, suggestions on what they
Yep.
could do to make themselves better. And he was genuinely interested in getting involved in helping these guys too. And he was there for hours every Thursday, probably for about 6 months. So we had that relationship with him too. So the show that you're talking about was in May 25th, 2007. And it was in Byfield, Mass., not too far from West Newbury. And that came about because John's brother is a policeman who was hit by a drunk driver, unfortunately. He's recovered, which is great.
Okay, I was going to ask you that.
They want to raise funds for mothers against drunk driving.
Right.
So with the help of John's dad, Johnny Fabulous, they want to do a fundraiser.
Another great guy.
Very good guy.
Another great guy.
Very good guy. So that's how it came about. Want to do a fundraiser for mothers against drunk driving. Wow. So we worked with WWE and get John Cena that night, who did an appearance and refereed the main event.
Yeah.
And WWE was also nice enough to loan us Eugene for the night, who wrestled Handsome Johnny, who's better known now as Warbird Hansen.
Yes.
In Ring of Honor, who's finishing up a tour right now of Japan.
Yep.
With Ray Rowe. So, and we just had them a couple months ago in Woburn.
Nice.
So hopefully we'll have them back as a tag team.
Right.
But that's how that show came about. We had a great show, raised a great amount of money for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Yeah. And there was minimal people that knew that Vince McMahon was going to be there. And that is still one of the best. I mean, we could have shut down right after that because John Cena was just in our ring.
Right.
And I tried to think if he's been in any other ring besides his own, and maybe in Memphis when they were doing some things. I'm not even sure if that's true.
I don't even think he was ever.
So that was so cool,
and
and just seeing the gaps on people's when they realized who's this guy who cut through the barriers and into the ring. And when people, when I've gone back and watched the tapes, you just see, oh my God, when people just realized it was Vince McMahon, who had just got his head shaved a couple months earlier. From the WrestleMania bout with Donald Trump in the corner and the billionaire
president of the United States of America
for president of the billionaires. So he did that. Got involved and started hitting John Cena, put him in the what was it called, the FU at the time, the attitude adjustment, I think they call it now. So ended up doing that, and then even more impressive is that then John picks up Brian Malonis.
Yeah. Now, did Vince manage him for that match? Is that what
it was?
He did
not. No.
Okay.
Cherry Payne was Brian Malonis' manager.
I remember Cherry.
Johnny Fabulous was in the corner of Big Rick Fuller.
Okay.
So who some people may know from WCW in the late 90s.
Yes. Again, another great guy who I've met so many times at independent shows. One of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Just do not want to be chopped from him.
Oh, no.
He chopped me in the back of a locker room once, and I think it still hurts.
You let him?
I did not let him.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I would never let Rick chop me.
No.
But he's a great guy.
Great guy. Yeah, so John was the referee for that, which was for the Chaotic Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Brian was the champion at the time. Rick was a former champion. And that's how that came about. And
that's awesome.
It was fantastic.
Whenever I read it online, that happened, you have no idea how mad I was that I wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, you see things and you're like,
yeah, we can't show it, but it is somebody. Right. It is. You can go on YouTube, and if you put in John Cena Chaotic Homecoming, possibly, I think it may come up that way. And you can see a fan's footage of that.
Yeah. All right.
So
cool. I'm going to do that tonight when I go home.
Yeah, great night. I think we had over 1,500 people and
raised a lot of money.
A lot of money for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Yeah,
that's a great cause.
And for Vince McMahon, for all you hear about him, for him to come up, for one, allowing this to happen.
Yeah.
And having Eugene on the card and John Cena.
Right.
And this is a Friday on Memorial Day weekend, and it was hot. Yeah. And for him to come up, taking time out of his own schedule to do that, just says a lot about him and the respect he has for John Cena.
Yes.
As a person. And that's one of the highlights of Chaotic Wrestling.
Oh, absolutely.
If not the highlight.
And it's nice, though, to hear you say how great John was to everybody during that time he was rehabbing, because you see and you hear how great he is, and to knowing you, I know for a fact that it's so true, because you see all the things he does he's done more Make-A-Wishes than anybody in the world.
Yep. And it's genuine. And you can tell when some people, doing it because it's something they have to do.
Right.
You can tell he genuinely likes doing this and
that's pretty awesome.
Enjoys it.
Nice. You guys have some of the alumni that you guys have had that have gone on to bigger and better things. We already mentioned one earlier, Aaron Stevens. Damian Sandow.
Correct.
And he's wrestling as...
Was it Aaron Rex or something like that?
Yeah, I think it is Aaron Rex,
in TNA.
I don't watch a lot of TNA, to be honest with you. I try to catch Eddie's matches, and I'll be honest with you, I have watched the last few weeks, too, because Eddie Kingston's on there now, and that's Jaizea's favorite wrestler, so I tape it. I don't really watch it until Jaizea comes up.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, I follow wrestling closely now. I mean, the one show that I I watch every single week is still NXT.
Yeah. Oh, I watch that.
So that's I got to catch up on last week's and this week's, but that's the one show.
So I can't miss.
Yeah, it's 1 hour.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I watched earlier.
Right.
You know, it's in a little bigger, 500 people, but
Yep.
it's it's wrestling. It's
Yeah.
it's less comedy.
Yes.
It's less vignettes.
I love it.
Reminds me of the old days.
Right. And they've got some great workers out there.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Asuka.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That girl kicks ass.
Yes, she does.
I love her.
Yes,
but,
she does.
but like I said, let's get down to some more of the alumni that have gone. Antonio Thomas,
Antonio
who
Thomas.
was part
yep.
of the Heartthrobs.
Yes, he was.
And he
So-
got to keep his name too, right? He was Antonio, wasn't he? He just
I
had
think
one
they just
first
called him
name.
Antonio.
Yeah, and his partner was
Romeo Roselli.
Romeo. Yeah, Romeo Roselli.
So going into that, Leo. When Chaotic first started, we had a mix of guys training, and like I said, we would bring in some people.
Right.
And then slowly, more going to 100% just all the guys.
Right.
And all very talented. If this was in the 70s and 80s, probably 75% of these guys would have been had full-time jobs in a territory.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
yeah.
I mean, the list just goes on and on. I mean, you really have used the best. And right now, your roster's great too.
We are very fortunate. We get a great group of guys and girls. So to get started, we brought in names that people recognize to get them into the door.
Yep.
But then we slowly went away from that and used our established roster.
Yep.
Create storylines for them to follow,
Right.
and and that's what the people enjoy too. I mean, I've been to other shows where the same guy wrestles and they may not get the response because they've grown a relationship watching these people in chaotic wrestling.
Right.
They connect with them because of a certain storyline or
Yep.
something that they can relate to.
Right.
So we got a great core base of fans that come to every single
you
show
do.
that
You
don't
do.
miss.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at our shows, it's probably the same 30, 40 people right there in the ring. So we sell 50 rings up front row.
Yeah.
And 40 of them are probably the same people each and every time, which
Absolutely.
is fantastic.
I mean,
they're
did you
great
guys
fans.
outgrow the Polish American Club? Is that why you guys aren't running?
No, I would
'Cause you guys,
love to
that
have one more
place
show.
was unbelievable to see
was
a show.
fantastic.
I loved it there.
Well, the reason, and it's still standing, the way it came about was June of, I want to say it was last year, 2015.
Okay.
Is that we got a call one day, hey, we sold the PAV. So they had sold it to a guy who was going to develop it into condos. And they said it's going to be shut down in 2 weeks. So we unfortunately didn't have one last time to do one last show. And then I guess that deal fell through.
Right.
And I think it may have been sold again. But we would have loved to have done one more show.
Yeah.
The
atmosphere was
The atmosphere was
incredible.
great. The acoustics were great because the ceilings were
Yeah.
steepled.
Yep.
And we used to have Cold Fury, which
Yep.
is our WrestleMania.
Yes.
If people don't know. And we used to squeeze I think the most we ever had in there was 330 people. Wow. And they were squeezed in like sardines.
Right.
Apologize, fans, if you weren't comfortable in those February, March dates because you were squeezed in
I
there.
don't think they were complaining, to be honest with you. Really,
No.
I don't think so one bit.
No. So, but so that we did not grow out of it because they had a nice stage here. We could throw some everything.
I love that place.
It just got sold.
Wow.
So that put us in a little blind for a little while.
Yep.
We ended up having a couple more shows at the Woburn Elks.
Yes.
Which we steadily have
Yep.
and have a show there next Friday.
Okay.
Which will be Brian Fury's last show, which I know you want to get into later.
Yes.
But we just returned back to the Hudson Elks, which we used to run,
nice.
and then we had stopped doing it, and then we got back in there. The Lawrence Elks, we've had a couple shows this year. We're going to go
Excellent.
back there next year, so anybody in
Where
the Lawrence
Isaiah
area.
lives in Lawrence.
Okay. So we're going to be going back there.
Nice.
This year we debuted in the Danvers Indoor Sports. We're going to be going back there. Next Wednesday right here in Nashua,
Yep.
we're going to be at the Chunkies, who
I'm going.
are
I'm
only
taking
putting
him
out
there.
they're only putting out 120 seats. So
Oh, I better get my tickets tonight then.
yeah, I think we've sold I think last count about 80 or so. So it's
Oh, I'm
not-
going to get as soon as I go home.
There's
I'm
not
gonna get it as
there's
soon as
not
I
many
go home.
left. So
Okay.
and those are only available through Chunkies.
So I can just drive right down there and get them right now.
I believe you can, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but
I
you
will.
can go on the Chaotic Wrestling site, and
Get 'em
it'll
there.
give you a link
Okay.
to the Chunky site to get
Awesome.
them. So, but yeah, we'll get into more of that. So going more, I know we went off a little right there, but
that's all right.
just more of how it was established with the roster guys,
Yeah.
established names, and then more just the roster guys.
Nice. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, some of these guys that were like roster guys, just for instance, like John Walters.
John Walters, yep, former Ring of Honor.
Aaron Stevens was definitely a roster guy.
Yes.
April Hunter worked for you guys for a
Yes, she
while
did,
with
yep.
Slick.
Yep. She actually did not work with Slick
No,
in
she
Chaotic
didn't.
Wrestling.
Oh,
No.
I thought they did.
No, she was
Okay.
known as April Kincaid. She was with Arch Kincaid.
Oh, wow.
So her and
See, I
Slick
didn't know
were in
that.
Ida, but they were not together in Chaotic Wrestling.
Nice.
Yep.
Arch Kincaid, what a name.
Yep.
Brings me back memories. The intellectual
Yeah.
Arch Kincaid. His promos were phenomenal.
His promos were great, and a little inside story was that he actually tried out for the part that eventually went to Brian Black, who I think he became Palmer Cannon in WWE. He was co-general manager.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. Unfortunate
but,
being bullied, but
yeah.
that's another story
Yep,
for
another
time.
good guy who ended up making up to WWE.
Right.
So, but yeah, Chris Nowinski was an early guy too.
Yeah.
Aaron Stevens, John Walters.
Yeah. And
So-
now, like we were talking on texting the other day, I mean,
Yeah.
3 chaotic
That's
guys
right.
are now champions in the WWE.
That's right. You got Tommaso Ciampa with Johnny Gargano, NXT Tag Team Champions.
Yep.
You got Sasha Banks, who was Mercedes KV,
Yep.
one of our first Chaotic Wrestling Women's Champions, the current Raw Women's Champion.
Yep.
And then, of course, you got Kofi Kingston.
Unbelievable.
He got signed quick.
Real quick.
He
Couple
had
years, right? 2 years, maybe not even 3. I don't
everybody.
think.
Yeah, I'd say 2 with
Was
the
it 2?
training.
Okay.
His
okay.
first match with Chaotic was in February 2006, and he
Yep.
gets signed in August.
Wow.
So he's we say 1/3 of the tag team
Yeah,
champions. I guess with New Day.
1/3. Yep. The Freebird rule.
Yeah, the Freebird rule. So they're not too far off from becoming breaking Demolition's record for the longest reigning tag team title.
I hope they get it too.
So,
I'll tell you
yeah.
a real funny, quick Kofi story. Because I would see Kofi wrestling all over New England,
Yeah.
and I used to sell my tapes at certain shows.
Yep.
My magazines, whatever I could sell. I loved going to the shows. Well, when he gets signed, he was on MySpace, and I had him on MySpace, and I just sent him a little message. I'll say, "Hey, congratulations!"
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. I get it back. Hey, I know you. You're that tape guy. Because I remember one of the shows. I think it was for George Carroll when he used to run
Sure.
the NEWA.
Yeah, Braintree maybe.
Yeah. They would
yeah.
come out right there. So, and I'm like the type of guy that when I go to shows, I like to make sure that if the crowd's dead, you're gonna hear me get them going. Because
Yeah.
that's what. The worst thing you could do is go to a wrestling show and have nobody doing anything.
Right.
So a bad guy comes out, I'm booing him. So, and he remembered me like that. I just thought it was the coolest thing.
Another nice guy.
He seemed it.
So.
So
But
that's
yeah, a little trivia is that his last match with us
Yeah.
was Brian Fury's first.
really.
So Summer Chaos 2006.
And they wrestled each other.
They did not.
Okay.
No, Kofi wrestled Brian Malonis that night.
Wow.
And Brian beat Dr. Heresy.
Okay. Now let me ask you, how long was I know Brian? He just came back for one night, was it?
Brian Malonis.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's more.
Well, I
we'll
hope
see
I
more
would
of
love
Brian
to see him
Malonis.
come back, but before
For a big guy, that guy can move.
he's incredible wrestler.
He's-
And you know something? I know it's been like we've been saying about everybody, nice guy,
Yeah.
but very nice guy. He pulled me aside at
Yep.
the UFO show recently for my friend Pat Dillon.
Yep.
And he said, "Hey, listen, we'll make it happen. You know what I mean? Just
Yep.
give me some time, send me some dates." So very nice guy.
You're gonna hear me say there's a lot of nice guys, and,
But
and,
it's the
and fortunately,
truth.
it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's part of the reason why I've still been doing it for so long,
Right.
because you could have a bad day and like, oh, I just worked 9-10 hours, and I gotta
Right.
go to, promote the show, and I'm gonna be home at 2:00 in the morning after
Yeah.
the breakdown. But then you get there, and there's some good, and there's some bad, but you know what? There's some great guys, and you have some laughs,
Absolutely.
and I've made some good friends. In the
That's what I was
business,
just going to
which is
say, the
nice.
relationships you've made.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not involved like you are, and I've made some pretty decent relationships in
Yep.
the wrestling business. I always like to say I'm not in the wrestling business.
Yep.
I'm around it.
Yeah.
I'm all around it.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, you had also a few other people. I just want to mention, Matt Taven, who's gone on
Yep.
to Ring of Honor now.
Yep.
Nikki Rocks, who's now retired.
She was
but
our
she's-
first Chaotic Wrestling Women's Champion.
Yeah, and she's gone on to do bodybuilding, I think. Is she still doing that? 'Cause
I
know
believe she is.
Okay, that's great.
Yep.
I mean, that's another nice girl. I
Yep.
met Nikki when Austin came to Sports World years ago.
Okay.
And I seen her and DC Dillinger and Eddie Edwards there.
Yeah.
And we were talking and stuff, and she just was very cute,
Yeah.
first of all. I remember that because she had long hair.
Yep.
She really was a very
So going
cute
back
girl.
where you just mentioned Chaotic Wrestling had 3 champions that are currently in WWE.
Yeah.
Eddie Edwards, who
Yes.
trained with Kowalski and trained by Steve Bradley. is
Yes.
Another New England guy who's a TNA World Champion.
Yes.
And then
he
you
wrestled for Chaotic
Yeah.
many times.
yeah, probably a handful of times.
Yeah.
Twice recently.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Recently?
Yeah, we just had him twice. Yep.
Nice. He was at a surprise at the Beyond show the other day.
Okay.
I went to in Worcester.
Yep.
Totally shocked. But actually, I should say I was completely shocked because I seen online that he was in town.
Okay.
At a show the night before.
Yeah.
So, and then when Chuck O'Neill told Jaka that, he couldn't wrestle, he had somebody to wrestle for him, and I was hoping. And sure enough, it was Eddie. It was great to see him. Really, really nice guy.
So who else do you have on there for?
We got Rob Echoes at Billy Back's, the valedictorians.
Right.
I really liked them when they were the valedictorians.
Yeah, Robbie E.
Yeah, Robbie E.
Which is funny because we had a tag team that credit goes to referee Mike Crockett on this one. He came up with the tag team we wanted to put together called the Blow Up Boys, which was from the Gotti. Something about Gotti. There was a TV show that Gotti had the blow up here and everything.
Yes. Was that Danny Mouse? Was he a part of that?
No, it was Danny E.
Yes. Okay. All right.
So he had that whole gimmick,
Right.
and the E was for Echoes,
Right.
Because Danny and Robbie were storyline brothers in ECWA,
Okay.
Jim Kettner's promotion
Yes,
down in
yes.
Delaware. So they were the Blow Up Boys,
Right.
and then it was just funny because now he's Robbie E.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
had Danny's actually in WWE.
Oh, is he really?
Danny is a referee in
nice.
NXT,
That's
along
cool.
with Matt Bennett. So you're talking about roster guys.
Yeah.
There's two referees. Matt Bennett was on NXT.
Yep.
And was actually he's made it up to the Raw roster.
That's awesome.
So
He's a great rep too.
Very good,
Yes,
obviously.
he
Yeah.
is. Seeing you brought up the ECWA real quick.
Yeah.
They used a lot of your guys for the.
It was a
for that
relationship.
Super 8.
Yeah.
Two.
We had built a relationship up with ECWA and IWF in New Jersey.
Yeah.
ECWA out of Delaware. So we had that nice relationship with both of them.
Yep.
And it helped us give our guys more matches in other places, and enabled us to bring in guys that other promotions weren't seeing because they were coming up with us from Jersey and Delaware. So
Right.
some of those guys, Fred Sampson,
Yes.
who's Darren Young in
Darren Young.
WWE,
Yep. I actually had him written
former
down here,
Chaotic
too.
Wrestling Tag Team Champion with Rick Fuller.
Yep.
When you think about those two guys together, I mean,
Yeah. He's a big
they were
boy.
managed by Johnny Fabulous,
Right.
former New England champion also.
Yeah.
And Danny E. came up through the ECWA, Matt Bennett,
Yeah.
Rob Echo. So that's how those guys. So we had a nice relationship that be able to mix in with our guys.
That's awesome. Before I forget, I would kick myself in the you-know-what if I didn't ask you about two guys that I was big fans of. Mighty Minnie
Hey,
and Andre Lyons.
Andre
Both of
Lyons,
them.
yeah.
Now, Andre Lyons, if I'm not mistaken, you'll know. Did he mess his
Injuries.
knee up in the
He had
Super 8,
some-
right? Was it in the Super 8 or was it before?
He re-injured it in the Super 8, but he had that injury going into it.
Because I like that
And
kid.
unfortunately, it happened in the first match in the Super 8 too. So, but Mighty Minnie, actually, a story about Mighty Minnie, whose real name is Mark.
Yeah.
So I told you how I started first helping part of the ring crew and everything,
Yeah.
and started getting more involved in everything. But some people may know me as Adult.
Yeah, that's not, yeah, that's real. Why?
Okay, well, going into that,
Yeah.
Mighty Minnie's one of the reasons why.
Okay.
So we're helping out one night, and one of the owners calls out, "Hey, Mark!" And Mark, Mighty Minnie, whose real name is Mark,
Yeah.
happened to turn around at the same time I did, and the owner, Milo, goes, "No, I want the adult Mark." and unfortunately, Todd Fat Pants St. Clair was in the vicinity and said, "That's your nickname. You are adult."
Adult. Nice.
So from then on out, I'm adult.
Nice. But yeah, because I really was big fans of those guys. I really were.
Yeah,
I mean,
both-
especially, I liked guys that you would see in the ring. They could work.
They could, yeah.
But other people couldn't see that in them in a way because they only saw size.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Mini was, on the thin side. But
Very-
man, could
very-
that kid
very tiny,
work.
yep.
And Andre was one of the nice guys. I have a picture of me, my youngest daughter Sarah, and Andre in the bathroom at the St. Stan's Hall in Nashville.
That was like a bigger PAV.
And I'll tell you right now, man, I love that picture.
I know.
You know,
That's a great haul.
And I wish I could see him someday, get him to sign it, because I was a huge Andre Lyons fan.
I think the last time I
Huge.
seen Andre, it might have been in like 2010.
Yeah.
We were participating in a parade in Lawrence, doing that and promoting
yeah.
our show, and out comes Andre Lyons from the crowd. Hey guys, I think that's the last time I've seen Andre.
What a working
So, but yeah, he had some talent.
You had
Unfortunately,
injuries. How many guys ended up going on to the Super 8? 5 or 6?
Tommaso
maybe? Yeah.
eventually won it the
Yeah.
third time out.
Yes.
Both-
Walters.
John Walters. You had
Andre.
Andre was in it.
Yeah.
Both Brian, I want to say Brian was in it. I know Matt was in it.
Yep.
Nick Logan eventually
Yes.
won it.
Yep. So that's 5. was that
Danny
six?
E was in it. Brian Malonis was in it.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. No
Yep.
kidding.
He
That's
faced Xavier Woods, actually,
wow.
in one of the matches.
I'm gonna have to look that up when I go home. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I'm a big Brian Malonis fan. He's
he's
very
a-
popular around here.
Great talent.
tell
He
ya.
can move.
Yeah, he can.
He knows what he's doing in there.
Definitely.
And he's him, Handsome Johnny, and Brian Fury, responsible for training Sasha Banks.
Right. Yes.
So
and
and also helped a lot out with Handsome and Malonis helped a lot out Kofi Kingston a lot too.
Nice. Now I heard that the first thing that Mercedes or Sasha Banks did with you guys was you guys put her up with helping out Rich Palladino.
She did. She came
He told
in,
us that right here.
Yeah, she came in right after her 18th birthday.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's probably heard this. Her love and passion for wrestling.
Yes.
Loves Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero's her man.
So yeah, and there's actually, if anybody watches the network, I just found I think it was May 20th, 1989 episode in the Vault of the World Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
There's a match of a young Eddie Guerrero against Terry Funk in there.
Really?
So I just seen that last night. So
on the network.
on the network,
Okay,
yeah, May
cool.
20th, 89. So that's pretty cool. But she came in. We have we would have, and Brian Fury still has these at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy.
Yep.
We're one-day training camps.
Yes.
People, hey, you know what? I want to try this, but I don't have a ton of money. I just want to get a taste and see if it's something I really want to continue doing. And we would always give a spot, free 3 months training for the best female and the best male.
Right.
And she happened to get the best female, and she had her 3 months free training, and just, I mean, you could just tell she had that look.
Right.
She had that passion. She's on the small side,
Yep.
but her passion and desire came through, and that was in 2010, and she got signed in 2012. So she was only there
She's
for 2.5
quick,
years.
too.
And Rich's, she started. We introduced her, helping Rich,
Yep.
take me, go ringing the bell, taking
Right.
stuff back.
Yep.
And then she developed, ended up having her first matches. Nikki Rocks was a big help with her.
Right.
Alexis.
Yep. She's good too.
And then
Alexis is really good,
yeah,
too.
and then she was eventually became women's champion, and until Casey Ray broke the record, she was our longest reigning women's champion.
Nice. Now, you said you gave a spot to a man. Was that Mr. Biff Busick? Or was that
Not
a different?
not that same one,
Okay.
but Biff Busick actually did win.
Only Lorcan to people that
Correct.
have not that only know NXT. I'm sure
Yep.
I have about 1,500 of you guys out there. Yeah.
Another great talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I'll tell you a really quick story when NXT came to Lowell.
I was
Me and-
there.
Me and Jaize, we hung around out back at the
Yep.
end. And, we're trying to call people over. And I'll be honest with you, I was not much of a Mojo Rawley fan.
Oh, he get the crowd going
But
though.
when he came out and I called him over, that's it, man. Now I'm a huge, he came right over like, no problem. We're like, hey, Mojo. And I'm like, I remember telling Derek, I felt like a schoolgirl after, like, all tingly inside that, you know what I mean? That I can't believe he came over. But then Biff came out. And I called him over. And he recognized me from other shows. It was great.
I actually welted up during that match.
Did you?
A little sad because it was Tommaso
Yes.
against Biff, with Matt Bennett as the referee.
know. Yeah.
So you had 3 chaotic guys. I
Yeah.
mean, and not just they actually came up through chaotic. They
Yes.
trained. I mean,
Yes.
Matt trained elsewhere, but he was with chaotic for years.
Yes.
So, but those two just trained through us
Biff
and
got
coming
a
up.
pop.
He
but
did.
Tommaso, I thought the
That
roof
match
was
was
going to come
fantastic.
out. Honestly.
Yep.
I mean, when Tommaso came out, that place erupted.
Yeah.
The only pop of the night that might have been bigger was when Joe won the title.
Samoa Joe loves Lowell.
You know?
'Cause he also won the TNA World
Yeah,
title.
he's won 2 of his world titles.
And,
Yep.
and for the record, I'm not sure if you have this on your notes, but that was not Finn Balor's first match in Lowell.
No, he wrestled in Lowell before.
He wrestled at the PAV for us.
For you guys.
Against Hurricane John Walters.
Wow. That's awesome.
Another one that wrestled for us, I think he, when he was living in Wisconsin, he wrestled for us 5 or 6 times, was Austin Aries.
Yeah, I did have that written down. Austin
yeah,
Aries.
Austin
yeah.
Aries has come up through
Yeah,
us.
and you also had Loki came in for once or twice, right?
Loki, yeah.
Xavier.
Xavier came up once. Him and Loki tagged against
Yeah.
the Logans. For
I was there
Fury.
for that one.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Loki probably came in about 6 times.
Right, because like I said, when I used to cater for those early Ring of Honor shows, those guys were, the main guys. Xavier and Loki were the first 2 champions. And they really, I mean, everyone talks about how Loki's not the nicest guy, but I'll tell you right now, he always treated me like unbelievable. But then again, I had the food.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But, I mean, really great guys. I want to get into some of your present We got about 12 and a half minutes left.
Okay.
Some of your present stars. Is Scott Reed still working for you guys?
He has not. He's, he's a family man now. He's got
Yes.
a child.
Yep. I'm a big Scott Reed fan. That's why I had to ask before I forgot.
Once again, another good guy. But
Yes.
yeah, he's in great shape. He was
Always in good shape.
always put on good matches. Very
Yes.
talented. But yeah, he's life ends up
Right, right. Is he working
happening.
for Evolve at all anymore? Because I know
don't
he
think
ended up
so.
working for
Yeah,
them,
he
too.
did for a little while.
Yeah, for a little while, which I was happy
he's
for
wrestled
him.
for a while.
Wow.
So, but I think he might manage a gym or a supplement place, I believe. I think it might
Nice.
be a supplement place.
Now, the Logans are still your tag team champs, right?
God, they're going to correct me if they're watching this. It might be 7 or 8 times. So,
Wow.
so they've been around for some time. But there's another team. So there's a group of guys that I wonder if NXT came about 5 years earlier.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
With the Logans, with Brian
Chase.
Fury, Chase.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Chase is our heavyweight champion.
Yes.
Our women's champion is Davian.
She's all over the place,
So,
too, though.
yep.
She works everywhere, right? Is it true that she went to Japan?
She
Someone
did go
told
to
me she
Japan
had
last
she had
summer.
A tour, right?
Yeah, she went there for
Nice.
about 3-4 months.
She's good.
And our New England champion is somebody I would not be surprised if he was on the Cruiserweight Classic next year.
Isaiah's favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
Honestly.
Travis Flip Gordon.
Yeah, he has 2 favorite wrestlers right now: Travis Flip Gordon and Christian Casanova.
Yep.
Those are Isaiah's favorite. He loves those guys. Yep. Great talent. Real quick, my oldest daughter Elizabeth went to. I think she graduated from 2 schools.
Okay.
With Matt. She
Matt.
lived in
Logan.
Logan.
Okay.
Matt's from the Centerville
Yep.
area in Lowell. And
I
that's
think
where
they
Elizabeth,
still are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lowell boys.
Yeah, definitely. You also got some really good talent. Like Eli Markopoulos is working with you guys
Ilya
still, right?
Markopoulos, Donovan Dijak.
That kid's blowing up big
yeah.
time.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well.
Yes, he is.
We mentioned Warbird Hansen.
Yes.
Um,
Mikey Webb.
Mikey Webb.
The American Destroyers.
American
Him and
Destroyers.
Donovan Dijak.
Yep. They hoping to get their hands on the Logan brothers soon.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
that'd be a hell of a match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mistress Belmont. Someone that
Belmont.
intrigues me quite a bit. Seriously. Great
Very
worker.
good wrestler. She's
Yes.
latched on to Christian Casanova lately, so
Yeah,
there's
I seen
something
that.
going on there. And
So-
him and Ilya Markopoulos were a tag team,
Okay.
and she influenced him, and Christian turned on Ilya. So
I was going to say he turned heel, huh?
yeah,
I don't know if Isaiah's going to like him anymore.
There's something going on there. So stay
Now,
tuned for more.
Will he be on the show the 14th? I'm not allowed. If you can't say it, then just
No,
don't say it.
for the Chunky show,
Yeah.
it's going to be Chase Del Monte against Brian Fury.
Yep. Yes, we're
Warbird-
definitely going to spend 5 minutes in a minute talking about Brian.
Warbird Hansen against Travis Gordon.
Nice.
I'm almost positive Christian's going to be there. Davian's going to be there.
Yeah.
So there's going to be 6 matches. And for
Nice.
those, some people have asked, hey, I'm going to Chunky's. Is this a video we're going to watch
Right.
on a video screen? No, it's
gonna be live.
It's going to be 6 live matches. There's going to be no intermission.
Yep.
They want to have it the same length as if you were going to the movies.
Right.
So it's going to be 90 minutes long or so,
Yeah.
give or take.
That's awesome.
You're going to have six matches, two main events that we just talked about,
Yep.
4 other matches.
Nice.
Anybody that's been to Chunky's, they'll have the food out there, so come early. An hour before the show.
Yep.
You can go on chaoticwrestling.com and link over to the Chunky site to get the remaining tickets. Like I said, they have a limited number of tickets because of the size of the place.
Tonight, so I have to.
And we'll be returning back in January 11th too. So it's a
nice.
test run. Hopefully it goes well.
That's awesome.
But it's going to be a fun night. Be able to that intimate atmosphere, and a lot of people like chaotic wrestling for that reason,
Right.
because they feel the closeness getting to these guys,
Right.
and that connection.
Yes,
They actually, hey, I
absolutely.
know that. So when I always say like chaotic wrestling is like going to a Lowell Spinners game or close here in Nashua minor league baseball game.
Right.
Hey, wow, I seen Clay Buchholz or Jonathan Papelbon
Right.
before then, or
Yep.
Johnny Damon. Hey, I
That's
remember,
why I love independent wrestling.
these guys I seen on the minor league level.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Seriously, that's exactly why I go to the pet shows. You see the stars of tomorrow today.
Absolutely.
Real quick before we talk about
Yeah.
Brian, I just want to say a few names that deserve to be mentioned on your roster. Scotty Slade,
Scotty
Sean
Slade.
Burke,
Yep.
Ashley Mason's coming up.
Yep.
Right? We got Tony Stevens, one of your refs.
Yeah,
Tony S.
absolutely,
Love
yep.
Tony. Adam Barasano. Is he still working for you guys?
He's on hiatus,
Okay.
which is never a good sign because he's up to something. So
Yeah, right.
who knows?
Adam Booker.
Adam Booker, another great talent.
Yeah. Alexis, the double X Diva.
Double X Diva.
Another great up-and-coming couple kids. Anthony Green.
Yeah.
Cam Zangani,
Yep.
and Brick Mastone.
Brick Mastone. Yep.
All three of them guys are fantastic.
Yep. I believe Brick and Anthony, like I said, I believe they will be on Chunkies next week.
Okay, Brandon Locke. Is Tony Omega still working with you guys?
He no, he has not wrestled for us for quite some time.
Okay. Real quick, how about Sherman and Preston?
Sherman and Preston, we had them
Jimmy
at
Preston
the
and Mark Sherman.
Yeah, we had them on the Lowell Spinner show
Yes.
back in August. The door's always open, so you never know.
I like them two together, though.
They're
You know what I
pretty
mean?
good tag team.
Sherman's just like a goofy character. I love him, you know?
Yeah, I would call it's him.
Yeah,
That's
is
who
it
he
really?
is.
That's how he is, yeah.
And you can't hate him.
Right.
He loves wrestling, and he's a good guy.
All right, time to throw this away.
All right.
Because now I want to talk about a guy that I've watched since the beginning. And
Yeah.
obviously you have too. Brian Fury,
Yeah.
who's wrapping up his career.
He is.
It's a sad day for New England wrestling
It
in
is.
a way to see him in the ring. You know he's still going to, he has his, pro wrestling school.
He will still have the pro wrestling
Right.
school, the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. So if anybody's interested in becoming a pro wrestler, check out the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. Brian's a great trainer.
Yes.
And look for those one-day camps that we talked about where Sasha Banks and Biff Busick ended up being fortunate enough to,
Winning free training.
yeah, he may still have that. Brian, if you don't, I'm sorry, but I know he still has those one-day camps, so check those out. But Brian, it's no secret around the locker room who my favorite wrestler is, and it's been Brian.
Right.
So
I'm a huge fan of Brian's
yeah,
too,
absolutely.
really. Always have been.
Absolutely. Like I said, he's one of the guys where I think of if NXT was 5 years earlier,
Yes.
I could see him absolutely fitting
easily.
in right there.
Easily.
So, so in this area, they get a couple more chances to see Brian in Chaotic Wrestling
Yep.
Ring next Wednesday, the 14th at Chunkies.
Yep.
And then the 16th in Woburn, Mass., where
Nice.
he'll be facing another one of my all-time favorite guys, the Golden Greek Alex Arion.
Really?
That's going to be Brian's final matchup in Woburn, Mass. at the Elks Lodge.
Wow.
And if anybody is interested, Leo, I highly suggest getting tickets because that
Yeah.
building, they limit us to about 260 people.
Okay.
And we have sold about 160, 170 tickets already.
Right.
So I expected, if
that'll
not to be
sell
sold out before we open up the doors, to be pretty close. So I suggest if you're interested, go on chaoticwrestling.com.
Yeah.
Buy your tickets, reserve them right now because it's going to be a great night.
Absolutely.
We also have a pandemonium matchup there where 6 guys in a matchup, which will lead the way to a lot leading up to Cold Fury in March, which is our
Nice.
biggest show of the year. But Brian, absolutely, one of my is my favorite.
There you
Like I
go.
said, it's no
There's
secret.
nothing wrong with saying that because he's
see-
one of my
but see,
favorites too.
him against the Golden Greek, I get
Yeah.
a little tingle. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be great to see those two
I
one
think
last
I
time.
saw them wrestle a couple of times for Jeff Costa, just right here in Nashville.
Yeah.
I really have. I remember I gotta tell a funny, quick Alex Arion story, and it's like I'm such a moron at times, especially back then. Alex wrestled, and I was like, wow, he's so good. I made my son go. Well, he was leaving out the front door. I'm way over the other side of the building. I made my son go get him for me. He comes over, so all I could tell him was, wow, you're a great wrestler. Like I should have walked over to him myself, but it just. Looking back, it's
Very
just so
good
fun.
wesler.
But a nice guy. He was like, he was
Absolutely.
very, hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
He was young then.
First
and
time I
Brian-
seen him might have been in NECW or the WFA,
Right.
Steve Bradley's old promotion.
Yeah. The first time I saw him was
So-
with Jeff, and then I did see him with Sheldon.
Yep.
Sheldon's company. Matter of fact, real quick, on Steve Bradley, I was there the night he came. He was Santa Claus.
Okay.
Remember that was and he attacked. I think he attacked.
I love those
Slick.
old school.
Yeah, I think
ideas.
he attacked
Yeah.
Slick. I was selling my merchandise at the show, and he came over and he handed me a candy cane. So I'm trying to see who he is, and he picks up the Missy Hyatt book I had and goes, ha, what a ho, ho, ho. And he gives me a clue. Last time I seen her was at the Chris Benoit Memorial Show in Ohio. Ho,
Yeah.
ho. And he walks away, and I'm like, so then when he came out at the end, I knew he was going to, so I was with this kid RJ. I said, stay here, watch the stuff. And when he pulled the thing off, I popped because I hadn't seen him in a long
Yeah.
time. It was his first
Yeah.
time back in the area from being in Memphis and stuff.
Yep, I never knew Steve, but everybody that was around him was trained by him. Just
Yeah.
so highly of him to this day. So he's still missed.
Oh,
and like I said,
definitely.
the New England Pro Wrestling Academy, the part of that name is a tribute from Brian to him.
Nice. Well, like I said,
So, but yeah.
Brian's a great wrestler. He's been wrestling quite a while now. How
He's
long
been
is it?
with us for 10 years.
Okay.
I believe he started in 2001 because
Yeah.
he has a new shirt and has the years. I want to
See,
say
I
it was.
gotta get his shirt too. I do.
It might have been 2001. So
I'm probably
We've been fortunate enough to have him in the last 10 years of his
yeah,
career.
I'm gonna see him Sunday too. This
Okay.
Sunday, so I'll probably get a shirt from him on Sunday. Yeah, because I'm taking Jai to a show for the first time he's ever gone to Beyond. So, real quick, a quick Brian Fury story. Last time I went to Beyond in Worcester.
Yep.
So yeah, I finally, I am never the type that likes to get right at the ring, but Brian's match was coming up and there was an opening, so I went right up to the ring. So Brian's out, I'm cheering for him, and then here comes Hero. And the crowd's cheering, Brian Fury. Then the other crowd's singing Chris Hero, right? So Hero looks at me and he gets down on his knee and goes like this. So I go, Brian Fury. He looks at me and goes, you sound like a piece of shit. Just like that. And I was like, what? Brian, And it was awesome. Brian ended up beating Chris Hero that night.
Talking about Chris Hero, his tag team partner, JT Dunn, is
Yes.
a regular in Chaotic Wrestling.
Yes.
And
Other good wrestler.
I have heard so many good things about Chris Hero. I mean, I know watching Chris Hero,
Right.
but just people who have worked with him say he's the best. I mean,
believe
I've
it.
heard that come out of Brian Malonis' mouth, Cody Rhodes' mouth, just how naturally talented that guy is. If he
He's
can just lose some weight.
Yeah. And the thing is, he had
But
lost
he's
that
awesome.
weight.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen him in a while, but what a talent.
But big guys like that, you don't have to be buff. You know what I mean? Like, you could be a good worker and have fans as a small little guy, like we were talking about the Mighty Mini. I was a huge Mighty Mini fan. And Brian Malonis, a big guy.
Yep.
Hero's put on a lot of weight, but he still moves incredible.
still can move, yeah.
Incredible.
I seen him against Biff Busick at a Squared Circle, the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame show a couple years ago, which was really good.
You know what's a shame is we never got to see Claudio, Cesaro
Correct,
and
yeah.
Hero work together in the WWE. Now, in
Oh,
NXT,
okay.
I think they probably teamed up here and
I do not
maybe
know.
on some small shows,
Yeah.
never on the TV.
Yep.
When he was Cassius Ohno, which
Right, KO.
KO, which they ended up giving it to somebody else's KO.
Yep.
So, but it was interesting to see Brian beat Chris Hero that night. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see Brian this Sunday. I'm going to see him on the 14th.
Yep.
And you said the 16th is the other
2
show?
days later,
I got to get tickets.
So we can
Maria's
put-
going to kill me because I'm spending a lot of money at Christmas time.
Yeah, so I know we're wrapping up here. So the 14th in Woburn, Nashua Chunkies. The
Yep.
16th at the 14th in Nashua at Chunkies. The 16th in Woburn at the Elks Lodge. So go on to chaoticwrestling.com for more information. Like us on Facebook and
Yes.
follow us on Twitter. We're at Chaotic Wrestling with drop the last G because the character limits.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
Well, Mark, listen, it's been great having you
that
on.
went by quick.
It goes by real
It
fast.
does.
So I'll tell you can come back on again because I don't think
appreciate it.
there's a lot more we could talk about. Maybe you can bring
Absolutely.
Jamie next time if
Yeah,
he's
we'll
ever
see.
into something like this.
We'll see, yeah.
But guys, listen, that's it. We're out. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.